What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Shop Talk Tuesday. So I'm going to try something a little bit different in this Shop Talk Tuesday, and I'm going to be using two cameras. I've got one up here, one down here, so that I can actually show y'all what I'm focusing on. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how this is going to work out in the edit, but it should be pretty simple. Hopefully the volume doesn't change a ton, because with two different cameras, you've got two different types of mics. It is what it is. Hopefully the volume isn't like all out of whack. But I wanted to be able to show y'all what I was talking about when I was talking about it. Now, if you're new to this whole series type thing, you know, I know we've had a bunch of subscribers come on board, and I just want to explain to y'all what Shop Talk Tuesdays are. This is basically a time that I take to talk to y'all about a bunch of things. Now, of course, we are working on the giveaway knife right now, so we're doing a lot more hands-on things in these Shop Talk Tuesdays than we used to do. It used to be me primarily talking. It was almost purely commentary and not so much hands-on, but I figured if I'm going to be doing a Shop Talk Tuesday and I'm going to be showing y'all how to do something or talking about how to do something, I might as well do something. So that's how this kind of, you know, adjusted as we went along. And if you don't know what giveaway knife we're working on, we are working on this one right here. So this is the giveaway knife. This is forged from ADCRV2. This was 1/4 inch ADCRV2 that we forged down to this right here, which is just a nice drop point recurve, you know, camp knife, hunting knife, however you want to do it. You could EDC it if you want to. It's got this awesome texture that we did here with doing the 36 grit belt and then acid etching it and then sanding all the high points off to give you that real cool look right there. Then of course we have kind of like the brute de forge, you know, the actual forging marks going all the way through there. This is going to be absolutely awesome. So with this knife right here, basically what we're going to be talking about today is the handle selection for this knife. Now, I go through a lot of different things whenever I'm trying to figure out what handle I'm going to put on any particular knife. And I'm actually going to hit on one of the other ones later in the video, and that is talking about the cable canister Kumai build that we did. And I'm going to talk about that for a little bit so that y'all have an understanding of what to expect on Friday. But this video is primarily focused on the giveaway knife. Now, before we get into the handle selection, I want to explain something to y'all because I've had a lot of people ask me questions about the giveaway process. And I've tried to explain it in a few other videos, but I think that this would be the perfect time to go ahead and explain this process. So what I'm going to do is I am going to film a video that's just dedicated to how you enter the contest. And I'm going to release that video right when we hit 20,000 subscribers. Now, it might be not exactly right, because if we hit 20,000 subscribers at 4 a.m., I'm not going to release a video at 4 a.m. But the day that we hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to release a video, and it is going to explain what you could do to enter to win this knife. Now, the cool thing is it's very simple, and it's all going to be self-contained in that video. So it is going to be real simple. If you have been part of any of my giveaways in the past, it's the same exact way that I've done the previous ones. It's very easy to do. And like I've said in the previous videos, I'm opening it up to worldwide. I will ship it to wherever I gotta ship it. The only catch is we gotta make sure that you live in a place that having a knife is legal. If I'm not allowed to ship you a knife because that would be against like a law or something like that, then I can't ship you a knife. It is what it is. We don't need to break a law in order to get a giveaway done. So that's probably the only catch there. Other than that, you know, wherever I've got to ship it, I'm going to ship it to. So we'll see how it goes. Now, hopefully y'all understand that. Now, it's going to be the giveaway video where I actually, like the description of how to enter. And then we'll have another video that releases where I actually do the process of picking the random person who wins it. So you'll have those two videos. If you think you've missed the giveaway, you have not. We have not hit 20,000 subscribers, so there's no giveaway yet. Now, this build has been an absolute pleasure to just break down a lot of the thought processes that go into making a knife. And I've had a lot of fun doing this, so it's been pretty cool. Now, let's go ahead and let's get into the thought process of picking handle scales. Now, there's going to be a lot of different types of handle scales. I do not have all of them right here. I don't. This is a stack of handle scale material and everything. This is not anywhere near what you can actually pick for handle scale material. There are all kinds of materials. Hell, I've made handle scale material and I love the process of doing the layer things that I do with like the pops of color and all of that. I love that process. It's an absolute blast. So there's so many things that you can do with handle material, but there's a lot of planning that goes into it depending on how intricate you get with your design. Now, me personally, I like doing punches of color, but I'm not super into really segmented scales. There's a lot of people that do a lot of segmented scales, and I've done those in the past. I've done them mixing antler with diamond wood. I've done it with doing diamond wood and zebra wood, doing black palm with wenge or black palm with paduk. I've done a bunch of different videos with me doing segmented scales, but I'm not super into the ones that go a whole bunch of different layers all the way through it or have like 10 different pieces to make the handle scales. That's not really my style. I like stuff to be sleek and simple with maybe a punch of color, and that's about it. I like the things and the materials that I use to speak for themselves, so that's the way I tend to go. And I know that sometimes whenever I decide to pick handle scales for a particular knife, I get people that go, I don't know if that's going to be the way to go. But then once you see it, you go, okay, there was a plan, and that plan was successful. So I have that happen a lot, but most of y'all at this point trust my thought process on handle scales, and y'all just say send it. So thank y'all for that. Now, let's go ahead and talk about these handle scale materials. So you can do a few different things. You can go ahead and buy the bigger blocks. Some of these are what people would use to make pins out of. So they would, you know, maybe section this or do whatever and then put it on a lathe and, you know, turn it into a knife, or not a knife, but a piece of wood for a pin or something like that. Now, I do not do that. I don't make pins. I make knives. So I tend to cut these down, and you can typically get 2 sets of scales out of this. I've got one right here. This was the excess from this knife right here. So these scales that are on this knife, I could get a whole nother set of them on this piece of wood. And what this is, you know, is a piece cut off of one of these blocks. So you have that, and you can see this line that goes down here. That's where I would cut this in half, and then I would true them up and go ahead and mount them to a knife. Now, you have stuff like that, so you can do really cool blocks of wood whenever you go this route. These are real cool burls that have different types of dies that just absolutely make everything pop. You can just get some beautiful stuff that they have out there I mean, that is insane that this is natural. The only thing that changed was the dyes during the actual stabilizing process that has just made these look gorgeous. So you've got woods like this. These are going to be more expensive than if you were to just buy scale material. So you do got to think about that depending on what you're trying to sell your knives for. Do these right here make sense? Does it make sense to go with something that is this expensive if you're going to make a knife that you're going to sell for $100 and you're going to spend $35, $40, even sometimes $60, $70 on a set of scales that you're going to make a knife and sell for $100 and $120? This wouldn't make sense. At that point, you need to be buying the simpler stuff, you know, something like micarta or something that might cost you $15, because stuff like this right here, these are going to be a lot less expensive to deal with, you know, when it comes to the cost and you being able to sell your knives. So something like this, even these right here, these are about $20. This is basically diamond wood. This is by a company called, I think it's Maker Material Supply on here. I get a few different things from them. They make really good layered wood scales and everything. I really like this brand. But you've got a lot of different things that you can do on here, and what I typically do is try and figure out what the knife is going to be made for. So whenever you're thinking about that, you don't want to put some real brittle material like this right here, because if you do something brittle like this on a knife like this that's meant to be used and abused, these are going to break. These are more meant for something that's going to be more elegant, something that's not going to see a bunch of use, because this is a brittle material. But if you go with a nice stabilized wood, stabilized burl, these can typically handle a lot of abuse. Or you can go with something like this right here, this diamond wood style. This can receive a lot of abuse. Just to let you know, this is basically how skateboards are made. And this is about the thickness of a skateboard right here. So the amount of abuse that you can put a skateboard through, you can put these through. So whenever you're thinking about what you're going to do with handle scales, you need to have that in your thought process. What is it going to be? Is it going to be in the water a lot? Maybe I need to do micarta, G10, something like that, because those can get wet and not fall off of your knife because they're, you know, soaking up water and they're expanding and contracting, and then they end up falling off your pins. You got to think about those things. Maybe you go with a wood that's more oily, or a wood that's drier. You know, there's a lot of different things to think about whenever you're trying to figure out handle material, you know. And then also, again, like I said with the ones that are down here, budget, you know. If you're making a $500 knife and you throw a pair of $15 handle scales on it, you're really cheaping out on your knife. If you're making a $500 knife and you put some amazing wood on there, then you're actually justifying your cost, because you need to do that. You need to make sure that you're not, you know, skimping on some section of the knife. If you're going to make something that is that expensive, you need to use top-notch materials, top-notch steels. You need to make sure everything is right. Don't think that you're going to get, you know, you might get lucky one time and sell somebody a $200 knife for $500, but do you feel good about doing that? You know, this is a particular craft where people pride themselves on what they make. So just make sure that you're doing right by your customers, okay? But whenever I decided to set out to make this knife, I wanted to do something that was going to be really cool looking and rugged. I wanted it to be used. I wanted to do something that was going to make sense. Now, will this knife get wet? Possibly. That is why I am doing a stabilized wood. So one of these. I'm going to go this route because it's stabilized. It can withstand a little bit of water. It's not going to soak into this because with the stabilizing, these have resin that have been, just pushed in, and it's in all of the inner core of this material. So it's a little bit more water resistant than if you were to do something like this right here, which is still porous. So I'm going to go this route. Now for me, I want to do something really cool on this. And the ones that I chose for this process is this one. So I thought that this was going to look really cool with all of the stripes here. And I'm going to run these even with this. So I think that that's going to be really cool going down the side of this, and then being able to see some of this going across the top of the knife. So how I did this right here, where I ran the lines vertical, and then you see a lot of the burl going all the way across the top and the belly of the knife. Now this knife is going to be a larger scale version of that, so you're going to see a lot more of the figure and everything in there. So I'm excited about using this material on this knife. Now one of the things that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this down just like I did this right here. I'm going to have to cut this down, square them up, and then decide if I'm putting liners on it. I think that I'm going to go ahead and do a liner on this particular knife. I think I'm going to go with a black liner, and then we're going to do black micarta pins so that it goes with the dark theme of the knife. I thought that that looked really nice on this one as well with the black pins. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the punch of color from the wood, do the nice striations and everything on there. I think it's going to look absolutely awesome. And again, the reason why I chose this, and I'm choosing to do G10 liners with stabilized wood and micarta pins, is because that stuff will wear just fine outdoors, indoors, or whatever you're going to use this knife for, and it's going to be the right decision to make. Now again, could I have used just micarta or just G10 for the handle scales to just increase that outdoor ability even more? Yes, but I also want this knife to look ridiculous, because there's a chance that the person that's going to get it might not even use it outdoors. They might use it as a letter opener. They might use it as a piece that they're just going to put on a shelf to show off. So I've got to kind of go in the midpoint of flashy and what is usable. So that is what we're going to do on this particular one. Now, I know that this video hasn't really been us hands-on doing something, but I wanted to explain to y'all a few different things, as it pertains to handles and things like that. And also make sure y'all understand that a lot more goes into picking a handle than what you might think. And whenever you're looking to buy a knife, you need to be thinking about that process as well. What are you buying the knife for? Are you buying a knife to go camping? Well, think about everything. If it's got some soft wood on it, that's going to be a horrible camping knife. You want to think about the whole package, what it has on it, if it has horrible hardware, if it's got horrible pins, if the fitment is not right, if you got gaps everywhere. All of those things come into play whenever you're picking out something that you're going to utilize. So just because something's super flashy and it pops to you, but they have bushcraft knife attached to it, it might be super flashy, but it might not be a proper bushcraft knife because the materials that they used on it are not good for a bushcraft at all. And you will see stuff like that. Or you'll see something that says bushcraft knife, and then whenever you put it in your hand, it's the heaviest knife ever. And you might think, ooh, this has got some heft to it. Knives need to be weighted right. balanced right, because you're going to be packing them in your pack. So there's a whole package that goes into there, and whenever I'm thinking through my process, I make sure and pick the right material to go with the knives so that you're getting both style, functionality, and everything in this whole process. You know, I've got a lot of options that I can use, but typically whenever I pick things like micarta, and some of y'all go, oh, why did you do micarta on that? Or why did you do this on that? Why did you do that on that? Because if the knife is meant to be for a certain thing, I pick those things because I've used knives for a very long time. I mean, I've got 20 years of experience of just utilizing the hell out of knives and axes and hatchets and just all kinds of different tools. So I think through all of that experience whenever I'm picking these things and what makes sense in the process. For everybody who's been used to only the working portion of the Shop Talk Tuesdays, and you're just now getting used to the, I wouldn't even say used to, but you're just now getting introduced to the primarily talking version of Shop Talk Tuesday, there you go. Guys, one of the things that I do on these Shop Talk Tuesdays is viewers' knife submissions, and I've got one that I'm going to end up doing, but I'm going to put it in the next build video because I want to talk about it for a little bit. And it's a person who's actually submitted a lot of viewers' knife submissions, and he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he posts things on Facebook, and y'all have seen Dave Sizemore, y'all have seen a lot of his work on the Shop Talk Tuesdays, and he made a knife that I really like, and I want to end up showing up. You know what? I'm going to show it off on this one. So let's go ahead and let's do a cutaway and go ahead and do his viewer's knife thing. So I'm going to cut away now. So again, we've got a knife here by Dave Sizemore. It is made of 80 CRV2. It's about 6.5 inches overall length with a 2.5 inch blade, and it's 3/16 of a thickness at the spine. Now the cool thing about this is it has a skeletonized handle that's wrapped in high visibility 550 paracord, and I just love this overall thing because it's a drop point, just utilitarian design that's made to be able to, if you need to, you can take the paracord off, you can use it as a skeletonized blade, and then use that paracord for cordage. I really like this overall build because it is a multi-function piece, and I like the jimping on the spine. I like the whole entire build here, and he did a really cool texture on it that he got the idea from Simple Little Life, and he had done one with the little texture and all that, and I like this overall build. It's a very cool build. I like the paracord, I like the skeletonized handle, I like the texture, I like everything about this. So Dave, good job on this one. Well Dave, awesome job on that knife. I love the overall package. Anytime that I can get a knife that's like that with awesome cordage, that's a perfect knife to just throw in your pack and have with you. If you're hiking, going camping, things like that, perfect knife. 2 thumbs up on that one. Now, guys, I know this video is a little bit long, but trying to explain the reasoning behind how myself or maybe other knife makers or things like that pick their handle material, it takes a little bit of time, and there's no way to speed that up. You know, I can't time lapse this particular conversation like I could with forging or grinding something. So a lot of that just, you got to sit down, you got to have a conversation. Now, one of the things that I want to hit on before we stop this video, I want to talk about the handle material for the cable kumai canister build that we have going on here. Now, I had asked y'all in Sunday's video, hey, do y'all think that I should add this bolster material right here, which is the Mokame Gane cladded kumai build that we had there? And I got like 31 yeses and 17 nos, and then I got like 5 good thought processes out of it from different people. And a lot of people were saying, hey, if you're gonna make a knife with a bolster, you really need to plan that out from the get-go, because you need to decide what you're going to do with your pin material. Are you going to put multiple pins in there? Pin placement. Are you going to do like silver brazing on there to fill in any gaps? You know, you gotta think about a lot of different things going into that process. And to be fair, you know, I've really not done many bolsters or anything like that. I've done wood versions of that, but I haven't gone the brass or copper or stainless route with that. And a lot of people gave me that thought process of, man, you need to think that through a little bit further before you just jump into that. They were correct. So I would love to do this, but I think that I'm going to heed their warning, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to modify it just a little bit, because I did get another cool idea from somebody. Now, I am still going to do this material right here, which is the black palm, but we're going to end up doing a black liner, and then we're going to do black micarta pins instead of the copper ones, because that is going to go real well with this handle scale material. And I thought about it and I went, that's a good idea. But then I had somebody also suggest another thing, which was copper liners. So what I'm going to do is black liner, then copper liner, then this material, so that when you're looking down at the spine, you get the layers right there, and that adds the punch of color whenever we start, you know, shaping everything. So that's the route that I'm going to go on this build. It's going to be really cool, and I'm excited about this. We will be using this piece as a bolster on a knife, plus we're going to be using this piece, which is a bigger chunk of it, as a guard on a cool build that we have that's coming up. Just a little wakizashi build that I have that's going to be coming up. I'm excited about this one. We've got a few people that are making wakizashis. You got Dennis at Tyrell Knife Works. You got Aaron at Ailey Knives. They're doing their wakizashis, and I'm going to be doing mine. And this piece right here is going to go into part of it. So I'm excited about this. Guys, we got that. Plus, I'm going to be doing a two-handed drop point recurve. I wouldn't call it a sword. I would call it a big-ass knife. So that's what it's going to be. So it is going to be a two-handed, just a beast of a chopper. I'm going to be doing that. Plus, we're going to have the wakizashi build. Plus, we're going to have a cable Damascus build. And we're working on this Damascus build right here. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I am working on like 3 knives right now, which I typically don't have going on. We got a lot going on. Guys, I just want to thank y'all for coming by, watching this video. If y'all would, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video or one of my other videos. And guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, 20,000 subscribers, we're doing a giveaway. Remember that? So, guys, I just want to thank y'all for coming by again. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. And I will catch y'all next time.